Okay, I didn't mind it. I thought it was good. I thought it was creative and clever.
Yeah. Like I said, premise was good.
Yes,
Execution was a little flawed.
but the second one though is still my favorite.
Right.
That was definitely my favorite. I love that one.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to Boogeyman Radio. David.
Charles.
And tonight, we're going to be talking a little bit about some small town legends. Now, there's a lot of them out there that are pretty common, Gravity Hill, the that's the one I'm thinking of. Crybaby Bridge, I think almost every small town and every county has one.
Yeah.
But there's some that are out there that are pretty peculiar and unique. So we'll try to talk about some of those. What is up, Josh?
Good to see you, Josh.
So we'll be talking about those tonight. And, let's get some interaction from everybody. If you have a small town haunt or a urban legend that circulates in your small town or your big town, wherever you live, throw it in the comments. Let's see it. We'll talk about it, hopefully. But Charles, how was your weekend, bud?
My weekend was great. I was off, let's see, good gosh, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, and today.
Damn.
But I've been busy, all of that. So Saturday, I hung out with friends. We had a welcome home party for another friend of ours. It was kind of overdue. Oh, okay, putting me on the center. It was a great time. Had a lot of fun. Didn't drink too much, but drank enough. But
that's the way to do it.
Let's see. I felt really good. I kept falling asleep, like on the ride back home. Mind you, I didn't drive, so this was the first time that I was able to drink and not have to drive. So that was, it's great. So that was wonderful. Sunday, or I guess Saturday morning / daytime, celebrated my grandma's birthday. I couldn't tell you the age because I'm horrible, but she's up there. Yeah, it's great. Sunday, hung out with my roommates. One of my roommates had a friend come over who they trained together in the military, and they don't know when the next time they're going to see each other. But it was really awesome to meet the person. Cool. Let's see. Monday had a movie night with my roommates as well. We watched Hot Shots Part 2.
Good movie.
Fantastic movie. I showed it to him. It was like the randomness of the movie is what gets me on that movie. It's a great movie.
Yeah, like any Leslie Nielsen movie, basically.
Oh yeah, exactly. So yeah, had a great time with that. And then let's see, Monday. That was Monday, and then today's today. But Elden Ring came out on, like, I don't know what other consoles, but I'm playing it on Xbox Series X, and I am completely sunk into that game. For those that don't know, Elden Ring is like the Dark Souls video games. It's made by the same people. It's a grind. It's a rager. It's really tough. But I think I've put 30 hours into the game so far, and it just came out last Thursday.
24 hours ago.
Yeah, it came out 24 hours ago, and I put 30 hours in. Hey.
Yeah. In gamer time.
There's no way, dude. Yeah, gamer time. You mean 5 minutes? Like.
Yeah.
That's what it feels
It's already
like.
Thursday.
Yeah, what? It's Thursday. What? The 4 days already gone? No. And now it's going to be a beautiful day tomorrow, too. And this week's going to get really busy. I have a feeling for work, so.
Nice.
Spring's coming fast.
It is. I'm loving it.
Very, very fast, and
just in time.
Not ready. Yeah. No, I agree. Just in time. I'm excited. Don't get me wrong. I'm pumped. And for me, I love spring. Motorcycle riding, peak season. Like, to me, spring is the perfect time to ride. Spring and early fall. I love riding in early fall. But
hey, you know what you should do? Start a vlog. And go to like a bunch of small towns and ask people if there's an urban legend or something, and let them tell it.
That would actually be pretty cool. And I've had some like small Missouri towns that I want to check off on the list.
Yeah, see, just pick one weekend, go there, talk to the people, and
be like,
just get you a GoPro.
Any weird things going on around here?
Yeah, just get you a GoPro. That'll do.
True.
You can mount it on the bike. You can mount it on, like or like a little stick you can film
Yeah.
with. And
I've
mean,
and I've thought about doing moto vlogging too, like for the longest time. I could either put it on the bike or put it on me on my helmet. So,
yeah,
but
definitely be
it's
worth trying.
absolutely, and then just go to different paranormal, like maybe haunted or weird places, and just ask, hey,
You could
what
do
have you
that, or
guys heard?
just random small towns, and like, hey, is there an urban legend or any stories that you grew up with here, and like, what are some of the
You know,
things that
I'd have to go to the diner because a lot of old people with stories are there.
you know what? That's true. Filming Into the Light, that was something Josh and I we made a point of saying on the first place we went to, because there was no library, there was none of that in this small town, and we're like, well, where do you go when you want information? The tavern.
Yeah.
The tavern. Everybody's there eating or they're
Yep.
drinking, and they have stories.
Yep.
So
Plenty of stories to go around. So, yeah, that would be really interesting to do.
yep.
You
Get
guys,
there midday when all the elderly folks are there. They know everything.
that'd be some. What's up, Cassie? That'd be some good stories to tell, or that'd be
Yep.
some good outletting and stuff. Let's see here. What do we got here, Josh?
Cape Girardeau. There's supposedly a carriage accident that killed a woman on Gordonville Road, I think. People have claimed to have seen her standing on the side of the road at night for decades.
Wow, that's very interesting. I might have to go investigate that one sometime.
And it's a carriage accident. It's not a car
Yeah,
accident.
it's not, so there's no horns.
There's a little different
There's
twist
very
to it.
yeah. That's a pretty good difference. Cassie, you got any urban legends you want to share about where you live or anything like that? Throw them on up there, just in case you didn't hear it or anybody else. All right. So, how was your week, man?
It was basic.
Oh,
Basic. Missed a couple days of work because of the stupid ice.
Yeah, you guys got hit a lot harder than we did.
It really wasn't bad. It was just like a half inch of ice, but it took forever to melt.
Yes.
And then the road crews really didn't do a good job because they spent all their budget on the last time it snowed here.
Go figure. Oh, it's not going to snow again.
Yeah, so like the parking lot at work, they just like did a line and then turned around and came back, and that was it. Half the parking lot wasn't even done. It was that bad. But yeah, we filmed a new episode of Haunting History last weekend.
Yeah.
And of course, today I had to go back down there and reshoot an interview because the focus on it was going in and out, so it was kind of screwing up the video. So I had to go back down there, which is fine. It's only like 40 minutes away.
Oh, that's not too bad.
No,
could have been worse.
Yeah. So went and did that, and of course came here and got ready for this. But yeah, my week was pretty plain. Did go to Eureka Springs again.
Nice.
Took my daughter. She ran up all the way to the top floor, up the stairs by herself, and then went down the hall and went up and down the stairs there like 5 times.
You say in the Crescent?
In the Crescent.
Okay. Wow. Jeez, the energy
Yeah.
on that one. Holy cow.
I know. She wore me out. So, because I had to climb with her,
Yeah. No, I get it.
And then we walked around town and stuff, but she had a good time. She
Good.
took a nice long nap after that. But outside of that, that's all that's gone on. I'm planning on a busy second half of this week, so we'll see how things go.
Well, Cassie says at Fort Leavenworth has a lady with a lantern who looked forever for her kids, allegedly swept away by the mighty Mo. Now, is that the old muddy? Is that what the Missouri was referred to?
Missouri River, yeah. Old mighty Mo.
Yeah. Well, and the old muddy is, I know what they called it back in the day too.
It's because it's ship. The shitty river.
You get stuck and you sink in and you're screwed there for a while, and then maybe drowning. But that's okay. Good thing it runs this way, not because that would suck. Could you imagine?
Get flushed out into the ocean,
dude. Or yeah, if you were coming across from the east and trying to go, it's like, well, we're screwed. Can't get across this river because everything gets stuck.
Well, I mean, the one thing I would say, like even the Missouri has had bull sharks.
Really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
The bull sharks have swam as high as Illinois, I believe.
Holy cow.
Yeah. Up the Mississippi, and then they just connect to Missouri. Yeah.
Wait, don't they have to have salt water, though?
Bull sharks don't.
Oh, okay. Well, that's great. Remind me never to swim in the Missouri.
Yeah, don't swim in honestly, don't swim in any river that's not like where you can't see the bottom. If you can see
True.
the bottom, you're good. But if you can't,
Like I'm
no.
definitely swimming the one close by where you live, so duh. That's
Yeah,
probably one of my favorite rivers. But
yeah.
anyways,
Hey, no, that'll be too cold. I was gonna say Valentine's Day, you and
that'll
I.
be way too cold.
It would be way too cold. So
Wait,
we figured
Valentine's Day
out.
of next year? Yes.
Yeah, so we figured out that our 100th episode is gonna land exactly on Valentine's Day of next year. So it's got to be something special.
How in the world? That's
Yeah,
if no like, hey, cancel the show this week. You know what I mean. We're sick or something. Like another round of COVID comes through, and
yeah,
because it's gonna happen. Give it like 5 or 6 months. They're after in the midst of the war, they're gonna be like, hey, COVID again.
yeah. So I mean, like, if as long as we stay on pace every weekend or
Mm,
every week doing the show,
yeah.
February 14th, our 100th
No,
episode.
I gotta thank people overseas. I gotta thank them for personally ending COVID now.
Pretty much.
Nobody talks about it. It's great.
People
I'm
haven't
so
really talked
glad.
about it much, honestly, over the
Yeah.
last month almost,
Yeah,
around here
it's
at least.
nice. Yeah,
But
same. It's the same here in Kansas City. It's just like dying. They were claiming that it was the governor was going to do tracing, like tracing of everything, and so they just stopped testing. Hmm.
all right, let's jump
Anyways,
into tonight's show, shall we?
let's get it.
We are talking small town legends.
Yes.
Here also, by the way, guys, here we're gonna take a break at about the midway point, and I'm gonna have you guys see the 3 intros. If you didn't get the one tonight, you'll get to see it again. And then after the show, we'll put up a poll on our YouTube channel and on our Facebook page on which video you think should be our new intro. We'll put up a poll for that, so you guys can vote then. So let's get started.
So, real quick though, I do want to like. It's a weird. It's not necessarily small town legend, but it's something out of a small town that's a really weird news story, and I thought it was interesting for the show.
Okay.
All right. So, the Bretstius family of Schuylkill County, Pennsylvania, busted open one of their walls back in 2015 only to find it insulated with bunches of dried out herbs, talismans, and mummified animals dating back to the 1930s and 40s. Understandably worried that they'd accidentally moved into the start of a horror movie, the Bretstiuses opened up some more walls to see see what terror lurked beneath, as if they and we didn't already know the answer. Most of the house's walls were stuffed with desiccated corpses, and that's only most because the family ran out of money before they could get around to investigating the rest. The cost of renovating / exercising their walls ran to $20,000, which their insurer refused to cover on the grounds that the animals were already in the property when they moved in. According to the local historian, the home was previously occupied by a practitioner of powwow magic, a folk tradition endemic to Pennsylvania that promises followers a life free from health problems and bad luck. The powwow talisman embedded in the walls must have been busted then because the Breswitz didn't suffer great financial harm. The unholy relics also released a bunch of mold spores that caused everyone to get sick. There's a lesson here, kids. If you're ever renovating a property and discover that it looks like occult paraphernalia, do the smart thing. Leave it the hell alone.
Exactly. Jesus, why don't people like? I mean, if you're renovating it and then you find the bodies, I mean,
Different story.
it's a different story. But like, if it's got that kind of history and you just decide, well, let's start tearing into the walls to see what's in there.
Yeah.
Let's look under the floorboards and in the attic.
I would probably if I started finding random shit in the walls, I would immediately call the cops.
Yeah.
Like I would just be like, all right, we're gonna figure out what the hell is in here, but I'm gonna have law enforcement with me. That way, nobody else can claim. Like, because if it's just me, someone could be like, oh, well, you did it, or not necessarily, but they could blame me for some of it or something. So I would definitely try to get law enforcement involved just to make sure.
Yeah. Well.
But anyways, I'll just start off with our actual small town legends.
Okay. So the first one I'm going to talk about is one that's I think is gaining popularity as of over the last 10 years, and that is the Beast of Bray Road. Okay, uh, you might have heard of this. They made a movie about this, but the Beast of Bray Road, which is also known as the Bray Road Beast
Hmm.
and the Wisconsin Werewolf, is a purported human wolf-like creature allegedly witnessed in or near the rural community of Elkhorn in Walworth County, Wisconsin. It has since become part of Wisconsin folklore and has been the subject of multiple books, documentaries, and a 2005 horror film. Ugh. Named for the road in which it was first allegedly sighted, reports of the creature in the 1980s and 90s prompted a local newspaper to assign reporter Linda Godfrey to cover the story. Godfrey was initially skeptical, but later became convinced on the sincerity of the eyewitnesses. Her series of articles later became a book titled The Beast of Bray Road, Tailing Wisconsin's Werewolf. Reports of a similar creature in the neighboring state of Michigan also tell of an alleged wolf-like humanoid, which they call the Michigan Dogman. So I'm going to pause there for a second. So now this Dogman figure is not necessarily an uncommon one. I believe there's one down here in Missouri too.
See, I feel like I've heard remnants, or not remnants, but talkings of a dog man creature.
Yeah.
Like, not prevalent, but throughout the U.S.
Now, I mean, there is those Arcowler, which had dog-like, wolf-like features. But this thing, I mean, it does sound kind of like your traditional werewolf, you know?
Like a dog man, not
Yeah.
dog mixed with other animals.
So
Oh, yeah.
the Beast of Bray Road is often described by alleged witnesses as large, being between 6 and 7 feet tall, with humanoid body style, covered in fur, and with a head resembling a wolf or a bear. It is purported to have been seen moving as both a quadruped and a biped, and some reports describe it more closely to resembling a traditional werewolf or Bigfoot. So this has been seen on two legs, which is, like I said, that's where I guess the werewolf would really come in, unless you're watching what is that, American Werewolf in Paris?
London.
Oh, I was thinking the newer one, the Paris.
Oh, I don't know that one. I don't think I've seen that one.
That came out in like the 1990s, I believe it was, late
That's
90s. Yeah, or early 2000s.
Where was London?
One in London, man. The animatronics for the werewolf they had was
Fantastic.
fucking great for the
Yeah,
time.
that was. It was actually scary.
Yeah. Have you ever seen Dog Soldiers?
Mm-mm.
It's a European werewolf film. It's flipping good.
Dog Soldiers.
Yep. We'll have to watch that one. Very underrated film.
Okay.
And they've got some of the best looking werewolves I've seen in any movie.
Have you ever seen? It's random. Dang it, Scott. Dang it. It's a. Pretty sure it's a Tom Hanks movie. Something versus a volcano. Dang it. I don't know, but anyways, side
Right.
yeah, side question. That's okay. Yeah, no, I would love to check it out. It sounds like a very interesting movie. Plus, like
We might do it for the
werewolves movies are pretty good.
drunk channel.
Too drunk channel.
Yeah,
Too drunk channel.
All right.
I think it's perfect.
Let me just jump into the history of this and a
Yeah,
little
go
bit
for
of, and then we'll kind of wrap this up and talk about it. The creature was allegedly first sighted in 1936. So if it was sighted in 1936 and it's being seen now, I mean, there's got to be family, kind of involved,
Yeah.
like a wolf pack. In the 1980s, several alleged witnesses reported the beast had made contact with their vehicles, leaving long scratch marks on the doors and trunks of vehicles. One witness stated she hit something while crossing Bray Road. Upon exiting her vehicle to determine what she had hit, supposedly a large wolf-like creature with red eyes chased her back into her car, leaving claw marks in the rear passenger door.
Oh, good.
Sightings have also been reported during daylight hours. So is this not necessarily a werewolf?
Right.
or those rules don't apply. With several witnesses stating they observed an unusually large wolf-like creature running on all fours through the cornfields. One stated the creature was in pursuit of a deer.
Mm.
Animal mutilations have also been reported in the area around Bray Road, with animal remains, including deer and livestock, partially eaten with specific organs removed from the animal carcasses. Another witness reported driving down Bray Road late one night and observed an unusually large wolf-like creature eating an animal which had been hit by a car on the side of the road. The creature reportedly ran into the woods as eyewitnesses approached it in their vehicle. And reported sightings continue, most recently in February of 2018 and July of 2020, when alleged witnesses observed a large, hair-covered, upright creature in Spring Prairie and Lyons, both in the same county. Now, Expedition X, I just watched this the other day. Expedition X did a investigation on this. They went to Bray Road and they caught on. It was interesting because they caught on their night vision, like this. You can tell it's a big head, but you can't tell like the facial, like if it's wolf or whatever. But the glowing eyes were there, and it was like watching them. They had it on night vision, and it was watching them, and it turned its head. And then they put up the FLIR, and they caught this thing standing in the woods, and it was just kind of like peeking around a tree, and then it like took off on two legs.
Yeah, that's a big no for me, dog.
Yeah. So now up in that Wisconsin area, there are wolves in that area.
Yeah.
It's not common, but there are wolves in that area. Kind of like how there's mountain lions around Missouri and stuff. But they went to another part and they got this big track paw print, right? Well, the odd thing is it had 5 toes instead of 4, like a wolf has. But the rest of it looks canine, but it's a lot bigger than a wolf's track, and it had, again, that 5th digit. Mm-hmm. And so they couldn't identify it. They sent it off to be analyzed. They couldn't identify it. So that was pretty interesting.
That is pretty interesting. Wild.
So, like, if they're still having sightings out there in the 2020s, I mean,
I would say it's worthy of possibly investigating, but probably do it with a rifle.
Probably a couple rifles.
I was gonna say yes, exactly. Yeah, do it with multiple things and make sure it's not a 22.
Yeah, since I watched that, it made me curious to see the documentaries that's out there. I seen, on my timeline every now and then somebody will post something about a documentary, and I seen something about that about a month ago. I remember.
What if it's a shapeshifter? Mm-hmm.
That's a good possibility. I don't think people need to discredit
that. I will say, but I think it's interesting how the creatures that we know of as shapeshifters are a very convenient type of creature. You know what I'm saying?
Like it's a crutch, I think, for people to lean on.
It is. It really, yeah, absolutely. It's I saw this weird rabbit dog thing. Oh, it's a shapeshifter. Oh, I saw this weird snake-headed goat being. Oh, it's a shapeshifter. Like, it's just, you never know.
Yeah.
It could be one of those just like default go-to things, and that could have been why. Now I know that shapeshifters weren't created for that. Like, it was an actual thing.
Yeah.
With, that was behind legends and myths and stuff like that.
Well,
but over time, it's become people's crutch.
Yeah, Spurrier's messaging me. He's like, you left your dinger on. I heard it.
I heard that. Yeah, exactly.
All right.
That's all right. I don't give a shit.
Oh shit! Hey Justin, by the way, did you have a yellow aux cord? It was like curly, about this long. At the investigation. If so, let me know, because the guy couldn't figure out where it came from. He found one. Anyway,
it's a ghost cord from the 5th dimension. You better keep that.
It might be. Get some radiation testing done on it.
I would.
But yeah, I'd love to go up there and like investigate the Bray Road thing. I think that would be fascinating, but I just don't know if it's like how overdone it's been. I mean, if there's documentaries and a horror film about it.
Obviously, the horror film's overdone. Duh. But
At that point, yeah, I guess.
what I would have to watch the documentaries and see what they've actually like found, quote unquote. Because if it's like, oh, here's some random tracks, okay. Oh, here's some hair, okay. Here's some noises and some footage, okay.
All right then.
But if it's just, oh, we found this random thing of hair, we don't know where it came from, it's the wild.
You know what sucks is government would probably be all over your ass if you shot something that was that
Oh yeah, they
unique.
would. Yeah, the minute you shoot it, they would know.
Yeah, Justin. He's got it. He found it there. I'll let him know. I'll get it from you, or from him for you, whatever.
So is it whose court is it? Is it Justin's?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I was like. So Justin left it there at the investigation. Okay.
Yeah.
Dang, that sucks.
And I'll airmail it. I'll ship it via.
You know, too bad we don't have the technology where you could just send it, like digitize it, and then send it there.
I'll send you a picture of it, and then you can
Yeah,
just print a new one up in your 3D printer.
Yes. Because the 3D printer is going to print the wiring and everything that's inside of it, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
But I mean, shoot, in the days of Tron, where it was like, hey, we're going to send this digitally to the like 2 different places.
Yeah.
Why can't we do that? I bet we can. They actually did do that.
It's technically Austin's. Oh, so I don't need no hurry on it. Is what you're saying? Uh-oh, Mike.
Oh, look, he did it again. You really gotta stop messing with tabs, bro.
What? I didn't do nothing.
I can tell. You need to replace your like when your camera's offline or something, or your camera's off. That little here, I'll show you. So if my camera goes off,
yeah,
that pops up.
Oh, you changed it.
I did change it. I love Jade Silent Bob, but it's okay.
No, you should have left that other one.
Nah, it's fine. I actually have that picture signed, by the way.
Nice.
Yeah. I can't wait to go back to Comic-Con this year. I'm so excited. Anyways, all right, so was there any more to your story? We kind of went off on a tangent there.
No, that was it.
Okay.
Just a your average dog man wolf hybrid thing running around the Wisconsin woods.
Yeah, wonderful, good, fun. Yeah.
So in case anybody wants a vacation.
Yes. So I have one. And it's not really a small town, but it'll do. This takes place in South Texas. It's supposedly the Donkey Lady.
The Donkey Lady? I think I know her.
They say. Do you?
She got an ass.
She's not an ass. She
got an ass.
So the story of the Donkey Lady is known throughout San Antonio and South Texas. There are many variations of how the Donkey Lady came to be, but the paranormal incidents reported at the bridge of Elm Creek are all similar. Here is a version of the Donkey Lady story by the author Michael Mays. Years ago, most agree sometime in the mid-1800s, a settler woman lived near the banks of Elm Creek with her husband and 2 children. $5 says the kids end up dying. Anyways, the couple was barely scratching out a living from farming the stingy South Texas soil and raising a head of livestock.
This sounds like the origin story for those Tijuana shows. We were barely making a living and then also decided, hey, I have an idea.
Then all of a sudden it happened. Anyway.
And then boom! Everybody started paying to come and see this. We got rich.
Right.
We had weird looking kids.
That's why you shouldn't live next to a nuclear reactor. Anyways, one day, the son of a wealthy San Antonio merchant came riding onto or near the property. Somehow the young man came into contact with a horse or a mule belonging to the pioneer family.
Somehow it came into contact and back that ass up.
The young man, the story goes, teased the animal and it hit him with a stick. Hit it with a stick. The poor animal retaliated in the only way it knew how and bit the merchant's son. Enraged, right, exactly. Enraged, the young man began to beat the animal even more severely than before. The poor creature's cries reached the ears of the pioneer couple and they quickly rushed to the scene. It became obvious to the couple that their animal, no doubt vital to their livelihood, was about to be beaten to death. The couple began throwing rocks at the animal's assailant, and pelted him several times. They did not realize the young man was the son of an important man in town. The young man hurled a string of expletives at the couple as he retreated, but swore he would get even with them. That night, a party of men led by the wealthy merchant and his son stealthily approached their young family's cabin and set fire to the torches, or set fire with it. The heavily armed men refused to allow anyone inside the cabin to leave. Desperate, the man of the house attempted to make a break for it in hopes that his wife and children could escape with his distraction while he distracted the attackers. Alas, he was gunned down almost immediately upon setting foot outside the cabin. The screams of the woman and her children as they burned alive were heard up and down the creek for over a mile. Man, what did I say? Called it.
This is a sad origin story, man.
It is a sad origin story of why a ghost becomes an asshole. Anyways, just as the mob was sure their unholy task was complete, a figure engulfed in flames smashed through what was left of one of the cabin windows and staggered toward the stunned and now terrified men. The woman's hands seemed to have been burned down to a mere nubs, and her face appeared to have melted or sagged to the point that it was unnaturally long and deformed. The poor creature's clothes were gone, burned away, revealing skin charred completely black, yet somehow still on fire. The wretched creature that had once been a happy, sod-busting wife, and mother let out a bone-chilling wail and then staggered past the men and hurled herself off the bank and into the waters of Elm. Okay. She just went straight for the fire. The criminal mob followed the point from which she had launched herself into the black water, but saw no trace of her. Her body, it is said, was never found. Photos exist of damage allegedly done to vehicles by the donkey lady. It is said that if you park on the bridge, shut off your lights, and wait, you'll most certainly encounter something truly terrifying.
Kind of a cruel name for her.
Donkey lady? The donkey
a woman
lady?
that burned to death, basically? We're just going to call her a donkey lady?
Yeah, because it was her donkey that got beat. That was it. That's all they... You had me at nubs. Nice. I was going to say Tijuana and the Navy gave my dad some good stories back in the day.
I bet they did.
I bet they got some great stories.
Yeah, no, that's
an urban legend or small town legend.
And it just happened to be down there in Texas.
Hey, what I say though? I knew the kids were going to die.
You did.
But she's not angry about the kids and her husband dying. She's angry about that donkey. That's why. That's why she's seeking revenge.
You hit my.
They almost beat the donkey, so they called her the donkey lady instead. So, do you think because, like, the face was so, like...
melted?
Yeah, they would maybe call her a donkey?
I don't know.
I
would just think of, like, a stroke victim where it's like, you know?
Yeah, if her skin was literally falling off her face, so that'd be more grotesque and horrifying. Than...
I'd call her the wax lady or something, you know?
Okay, all right.
Dripping wax.
Yeah.
Dripping flesh.
The melted lady.
Yeah. I mean... Donkey lady just seems a little cruel.
A little bit.
That's why she's pissed.
That's because the name. The name is what brought her back to life. Not
she's like, I'm gonna have an awesome haunting name, and then it's not El Diablo. It's the Donkey Lady.
These damn kids.
Sons of bitches.
I suffered for this. Anyways.
I will live in infamy.
Yeah. No, but the husband wasn't alive. Just that. He was shot. He was gunned down.
No, I mean, he probably wanted it, so he didn't have to live with the donkey lady.
Probably. He probably saw what his life looked like and was like, scare this.
All right, you guys go out the back. I'm going to distract him with my mouth.
I mean, at least they don't have to worry about making a living and they're, trying to survive when they're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Easy solutions.
Now, this one's not so much an urban legend as it is like a odd story. This one comes from Oklahoma, Guthrie, Oklahoma. It's the story of Elmer McCurdy, the sideshow mummy.
Elmer McCurdy?
Yep.
Did he McHurt himself? I'm kidding. I'm sorry. That's horrible. That's a horrible joke. Anyways.
All right. So Elmer McCurdy is more famous for what happened after his death than anything he did in life.
Yeah, he hurt himself. I'm kidding.
Kinda. Many people believed he was an outlaw, a drunk, and part of a notoriously incompetent gang that roamed Oklahoma and the surrounding states during the turn of the century. By all accounts, Elmer should have been forgotten after he was killed during a shootout in 1911. Instead, Elmer's corpse was taken to a funeral home in Pawhuska, which I've been there, Pawhuska, Oklahoma, where an undertaker decided to embalm the unclaimed remains. He charged visitors to like a nickel to come see the mummy for several years before a circus man claiming he was McCurdy's relative swindled the funeral home into selling him McCurdy's corpse. Afterwards, the body was bought and sold numerous times as part of a variety of freak shows, carnivals, and traveling acts for decades. In the 1970s, his remains made their way to Long Beach, where they were put on display at an amusement park. The popular television show, The $6 Million Man, was filming at the park in 1976 when a crew member moved what he thought was a mannequin and broke off one of the arms, proving without a doubt that it was an actual man. After some research, the body was identified as Elmer McCurdy and finally buried in the Boot Hill section of Summit View Cemetery in Guthrie, Oklahoma on April 22nd of 1977. After more than 60 years on the road, the local medical examiner ordered that 2 cubic yards of concrete be poured on top of Elmer's grave, ensuring that his remains will never be disturbed again. And now there's the murder mystery weekends at the Stone Line Inn. They sometimes take the people out to McCurdy's grave as part of their shtick. How messed up would that be?
That would be pretty messed up, but I mean,
Imagine that prop
capitalizing,
handler.
man. I was gonna say,
That prop handler, like, all right, let's move this. Oh shit, guys.
well, we're fucked.
Yep, my bad. Let's go back on. We got any
So
glue?
that it's just like just the one single happenstance that just a virgin lights the candle and brings the witches back to life. You break
Yeah,
you break his burial and you bring him back to life. Oh, stupid people.
right.
Stupid people. I mean, that would be. Oh, that was a good story. I like that one. All right, so this one is another Texas one.
Okay, we'll mess
It
with
happens.
Texas.
It happens to be a bridge. Again.
Okay,
All right, so Texas is full of urban legends, as we know. Um, but most are either completely fabricated or versions of truth stretched so far they might as well be fake. This story, however, is different. The history of Arlington's Screaming Bridge is absolutely terrifying, and it's the last place you'd want to find yourself alone after night has fallen.
oops.
So, one fall night more than 50 years ago, several teenagers were carpooling home after a high school football team defeated its opponent by a landslide. Still riled up over their victory, driving responsibly definitely wasn't responsibility wasn't the utmost importance to the group. The bridge running through Arlington's River Legacy Park was just wide enough for the cars to fit one at a time. Hooting and hollering, the children's excitement drowned out all the other noise, like that of a vehicle with no working headlights speeding towards them. By the time either party realized the imminent disaster, it was much too late to avoid. The cars collided head on before erupting in a fiery explosion and plunging off the bridge into Trinity River below. Nobody survived the crash.
Nobody did.
Nobody knows the trouble I see. Anyways, yeah, nobody survived.
Nobody survived.
Okay, but think about this though. How? I'll continue in just a second. How many times have you ever heard a story similar to that though?
Quite often.
Like either whether involving two cars or car fell off the road or got into an accident and the teenagers died and their ghosts are said to come back.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that kind of goes along the same lines with Josh's um, tale from Cape Girardeau. You know, the carriage a carriage accident that the
Yeah,
woman said to haunt the road afterwards.
yeah,
Same. It just kind of speaks to how long that kind of story has gone on,
yeah.
and so I mean,
Well, it's a good story to tell kids too.
yeah. Stop the
But
road, you little drunk
this
bastard.
actually, like, they have records of this actually happening, the car accident. So,
Beautiful.
good times.
Yeah.
Now closed to vehicular traffic, the accident site can only be accessed on foot. It was given the name Screaming Bridge ever since the first brave souls went exploring and experienced events that can only be explained by the supernatural. Legend has it that if you stand on the bridge and gaze into the river, you'll see a tombstone for each of the deceased with their name and date of birth and death. That's pretty, like, accurate. Like, it's pretty specific.
A lot of
Right?
gays.
Gazing. Now, is the male gaze or the female gaze? Hey.
Hey.
Anyways. But that's pretty, like, that seems to be a lot of information to happen just by looking into water. Anyways.
Well, I mean, what is it? It's kind of like scrying, where you look into a black mirror, but they do some kind of mystical stuff like that with water too.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. All right, so where'd it go?
Werewolves of London.
Great song.
No, oh.
I liked it. I totally lost my spot. Thanks, Dave.
Welcome. That's what I do.
Here we go. Visit at midnight on the accident's anniversary. You'll hear two cars screeching towards each other before colliding in an ear-splitting crash. That is not confirmed, but maybe it is. Anyways. And then watch a panic attack. Scary Videos investigates the bridge at night and captures a real scream on tape. The bridge is located at River Legacy Park in Arlington, but you'll have to ask a park ranger for explicit directions.
Like they'll give to you.
Yeah, as it's extremely difficult to get to, as it's extremely difficult to explain in writing. But maybe it's better if you just forget about it. Visiting this gruesome place might be the most grave mistake you'll ever make.
Forget about it.
Anyways, that's an interesting one. I mean, I hate it when articles try to make it spin, be like, yeah, don't go there, but you should really go there. Like, you know.
Let's see here. I'm trying to think. Let's pick a state here.
Pick a state and pick a random one.
Well, before we do this,
go Utah.
Hang on. Before we do this.
Oh, let's show yeah.
Yeah. So, if you didn't catch the opening intro, and if you haven't caught the show over the last few weeks, we are going to be using a new intro. We've run 3 of them now, and after the show, we're going to put up a poll on YouTube as well as our Facebook page, and we're going to let you all vote which intro you think we should use. And right now, I'm going to play you all 3 intros in the order that they will be on the poll, and then you will just, vote whenever the time comes. Yeah. So without further ado, let's start with intro number 1.
Let's get it.
Hey there, folks! Do you like murder, mystery, and the macabre? Or maybe you're into ghosts and ghouls? This is Boogeyman Radio, sponsored by nobody, because nobody gives a f***. Here's your hosts, David and Charles. So that was entrance number 1. And this will be entrance number 2.
Because of the obvious threat to untold numbers of citizens, and because of the crisis which is even now developing, this radio station will remain on the air day and night.
Officials and newsmen at first discounted those eyewitness descriptions as being beyond belief. However, the reports persisted.
Listen to them. Children of the night. What music they make.
And then we have this one, which is entrance number 3. It's cute, but yeah.
I love the second one so much. So much.
So those are the 3 entrances. Guys, if you want to vote after the show, we'll put up a poll on the YouTube channel on the community tab. And then we'll also put up a poll on our Facebook page, the Boogeyman Radio Facebook page, and you can vote there.
Yes, please. Go vote there, please.
1 or 2. Justin says 1 or 2. If anybody else is new listening, we are doing Small Town Legends. So if there's a small town legend that's in your area, you want to let us know, put it in the chat. We'll put it up here on the page. I'll vote 1,000,000 times for 2. I don't know if it'll let you do that though. So speaking of millions, Cassie, I noticed you have more than one. You have like 2 videos on TikTok that are over 1,000,000 views.
1,000,000.
Over
Insane.
1,000,000.
Insane.
I don't know why, like her, the video where it's just her on camera and it says the object in front of you is the object that killed you in your past life.
Like, oh,
and she
shit.
turns it around and there's a coat hanger.
That was amazing.
That shit had me rolling.
So I was dying.
That one's got like 4 million views.
That's such a good one, though.
It's good.
Genius.
So, hey, and speaking of which, we did a TikTok challenge this past week.
We did.
And if you haven't, we have our Patreon up. If you want to join us on Patreon, you can join us. We have the After Dark show that we usually do right after this. On the After Dark show, we'll continue with a few more of the urban legends, but we'll also reveal our TikTok challenge and the results of the TikTok challenge. Yeah, it was pretty interesting, I'll say.
It was. I was completely taken back. I thought it was very interesting.
It was kind of maddening for me, honestly.
It was like I think it completely blew my expectations out of the water. So
yeah, we'll reveal the stuff
I
on
know.
there.
Yeah.
You gotta sign up, people. See that link right there, the
Sorry.
Patreon
No.
Boogeyman Radio. You get extra show. That's what you do, and it's more adult themed, I guess.
It is because we're gonna actually drink.
Yeah. So,
Do you have any more to talk about? Or are you good? Legends.
Oh yeah, we're gonna go into legends. I got some more.
Okay.
We're going to the States. That's what I was getting ready to do.
Oh, okay. Which state did you pick?
You said Utah.
I said Utah.
You said Utah. So let's pull up Utah here.
Let's go with Utah.
Had an ad on here. Hang on. Get that off. NOST.
Oh, you know what? The State of the Union's tonight, so we're probably getting hit with less viewers because of that too.
Probably.
Or not.
And we'll get some later viewers. All right. So Utah's urban legend is the curse of the Escalante petrified forest. This is a unique curse or unique legend. While it is illegal to take anything from the Escalante Petrified Forest State Park, there is a legend that says that anyone who takes pieces of the petrified wood from the park will be cursed with bad luck, sickness, and accidents. Park manager Kendall Farnsworth stated in 2014 that he gets about a dozen packages every year containing a piece of wood from the park and an apologetic letter detailing the sender's misfortunes. I would love to see some of those letters, honestly.
That'd be pretty sweet to see.
But fair enough. You know, they say you don't take anything from Native American burial grounds or I mean, honestly, you shouldn't just take anything from any place that's being deemed as sacred. And I'm sure a petrified forest at some point had some kind of tribe or something in its presence that deemed it sacred.
Nope, no thanks. I'll pass.
Yeah. I just found this article too. Apparently this happened recently. A British driver reports a goat man sighting.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah. A British motorist was left scratching their head when a mysterious bipedal creature that they likened to a goat man dashed across the road in front of their car. Recounting the bizarre encounter on a parenting forum. That's an odd place to recount this.
That is,
The bewildered witness explained that the incident unfolded at about 2 a.m. this past Sunday morning as they were driving near the community of Staverton. The trip took a decidedly strange turn, they said, when something crossed the road in front of us in full headlights for about 3 seconds and made a distinct impression on the mystified motorist. Getting a fairly good look at the oddity, the witness described it as being about the height of a person, maybe 6 feet or over, and noted that it had short, powerful legs and hips, which seemed to move in a circular, fluid fashion. The motorist went on to say that it was not a deer because it stood on 2 legs, and also dismissed the suggestion that the creature could have been a kangaroo as it was much taller and upright when moving. You know, kangaroos in Britain, common thing. Later, observing that it was somewhat similar to a gigantic hare, but far too large for that to be the case, the driver mused that the closest we can describe is a large man goat on hind legs, but really stocky ones. Other members of the forum have posted that perhaps the motorist encountered a Bigfoot or even the devil out for a late night stroll, but the witness was skeptical about such fantastic possibilities and stuck to his guns with the goat man. Despite likening the creature to a goat man, the driver declared that it was not a kangaroo, goat man, slender man, or Sasquatch. These things don't exist. As such, the motorist ultimately conceded that they may have to settle on the possibility that they spotted a startled, mangy deer, since nothing so far really fits the bill. So, yeah.
Yeah. I have so many questions.
Okay. Sounds like your ex. Which one, Justin?
No, I'm reading an article that I'm just like, what the fuck?
Okay.
A 71-year-old woman riding with her daughter on Florida Interstate 95 suffered a gashed forehead Wednesday when a turtle smashed through the windshield of their car, striking her. The Daytona Beach reports. The daughter pulled over and got help from. There's a turtle here. The man can be heard. Turtle, an actual turtle. The gash drew a lot of blood, but the woman was not seriously hurt. The turtle was likely crossing the interstate and got knocked into the air by another vehicle.
Yeah, I've got questions too.
The caption of the title was like, "Car hit by flying turtle," and I'm just like, "Oh, this has got to be good."
If it got hit by another car
Florida,
and spun
man.
up and hit another,
Exactly.
like
Florida, man. What do you expect?
like my questions would be like, was it initially on the road, or did somebody like chuck it off a bridge and out of another moving
Maybe.
car?
I
That's bizarre, man.
Very. That's why I was like, how does a flying turtle just? All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's just roll with that, huh?
Yep. I'm trying to think what. All right. So that was just a weird bit of news that I wanted to share.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Thanks.
It's actually kind of a good one to just kind of settle on here for a little bit, and we can just kind of BS the rest of the show here.
I've got one. I've got a. Well, maybe. The Bridgewater Triangle of Massachusetts.
Okay. Let's hear it.
All right. While an area like the Bermuda Triangle evokes both a sense of mystery and fear due to disappearances and paranormal activity that occurred within its border over the years, the same goes for Bridgewater Triangle. This 200 square mile area of southeastern Massachusetts is allegedly fraught with paranormal activity. From hauntings to strange occurrences, the Bridgewater Triangle of Massachusetts may send chills down your spine. During these uncertain times, please keep... Oh, fuck. That's just Arctic. Don't care. The name Bridgewater Triangle was first coined by Lauren Coleman, a cryptozoologist and author who wrote the 1983 book titled Mysterious America. According to Coleman, the points of the triangle are Rehoboth, Abington, and Freetown.
Okay. I've heard of this, yeah.
I haven't, so I wanted to... Yeah. Within these boundaries of the Bridgewater Triangle, plenty of mysterious, sinister sightings and events have occurred, from UFO sightings to orbs of light, balls of fire, ghost humanoid figures, murders, mysterious sightings, and more. This is an area that can send chills down your spine. He already said that. One of the most frightening places...
A good writer.
Right? It is. Just reuse their shit. One of the most frightening places within the Bridgewater Triangle may be the 5,000-acre Freetown Fall River State Forest. Don't let the beauty of the forest fool you, for it is here where animal sacrifices and satanic murders have allegedly taken place.
Hey, vacation with the family.
It's kind of what I'm thinking. Let's go. While you may or may not experience something paranormal in Bridgewater Triangle location, it's quite a lovely place to go to for a hike. You can learn more for. Hey, there's been places that are there's murders that have happened through here and satanic rituals, but hey, you should still go hiking.
Love, yeah, you know, that's what I'm saying. Take the whole family, you know. You want to lighten the load?
Yeah, I'm gonna probably butcher this, but whatever. Dighton Rock is a 40-ton boulder covered in ancient petroglyphs. It was found in the Taunton River. Huh. Interesting. I didn't know that was an actual. Okay. So it's Taunton. Taunton.
Okay. I'll go with that.
Yeah, the river during the construction of the dam, but is now housed in the tiny museum located in Dighton Rock. Don't care. Profile Rock once stood intact within the free fall. Don't care. The man was seen by. Okay.
Don't care.
I'm trying to get past all like the hey, you should come visit. Yeah, exactly. Within the Freetown River, or the Freetown Fall River State Park, and had its own ghost, a man who sat cross-legged on the rock. The man was seen by many who had trekked to see the rock. Unfortunately, a large portion of the rock broke off in 2019 after years of being vandalized. Gee, I wonder why. The historic King Philip Cave in Norton has seen its fair share of paranormal activity. Once a hideout for a Native American leader in the 17th century, numerous sightings of light orbs, phantom campfires, and the sounds of drums have been reported over the years. Among the bizarre phenomena that have been witnessed at Bridgewater Lake's Nippenicket.
Alrighty.
Nippenicket. That's horrible. Are ghostly apparitions, phantom fires, Bigfoot creatures, and strange of all, giant birds. If you really want to scare yourself, visit the site of Taunton State Hospital, which was first opened in 1854. This former psychiatric hospital has a storied history of lobotomies, electric shock therapy, and other cruel medical practices. It also had its share of notable patients who had committed atrocities before arriving at the hospital, as well as a nurse who murdered 31 people, including some patients. Some who visited the site have seen numerous apparitions, shadowy figures, and there have been reports of cult activity on the property. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah.
Are you scared yet? There are numerous additional locations to visit within the Bridgewater Triangle in Massachusetts, but these are among the strangest. Have you experienced anything strange or paranormal within the confines of Bridgewater Triangle? Let us know in the comment section below.
Hey, real quick, I gotta read this article too, because this happened in Kansas.
Oh,
there was a video. The YouTube channel has been terminated though, so the video is no longer up. A peculiar piece of footage circulating online shows a family in Kansas stumbling upon what appears to be a Bigfoot near a lake, though not everyone is convinced that the scene is genuine. The odd video was reportedly posted to a Facebook group devoted to a popular state park known as Cheney Lake, Cheney Lake, by an unnamed resident of that area last Saturday evening. So I guess maybe the video might still be on Facebook. Who knows?
Maybe.
Alas, the witness did not provide much in the way of detail as far as what they encountered, choosing instead to simply marvel that he and his kids went for a drive around the lake just now and caught something strange on video. That, of course, is something of an understatement, as the curious creature captured in the video bears a striking resemblance to Sasquatch. In the video, which is shot from the perspective of the driver of the vehicle, the dad explains that he is driving the girls out to check some stars, okay, and get away from the lights. After noticing what they think was a shooting star, they attempt to get to an area where they can get a clearer view of the sky, which is when the headlights of the car illuminate a puzzling shape in the woods or in the distance. One of the men's daughters is the first to notice this curious interloper, crying out, Wait, what the heck is that right there? That was my daughter's impersonation. The family's
That's pretty good.
attention. Thank you. I worked on it all day. The family's attention and the camera is then turned towards what appears to be a bipedal creature crouching down and then running away as if it knew it had been spotted, yelling, "Oh fuck, oh fuck, oh fuck," as it ran away. As one might imagine, response to the footage has been largely mixed, with some viewers suggesting that the family encountered a Bigfoot at the lake, and they point to what looks like eye shine emanating from the creature, as well as one of the little girl's fearful demand that they go home right now upon seeing the potential Sasquatch. Skeptical observers, however, argue that the video is almost too good to be true and seems almost perfectly staged, which suggests that it is a fairly well-crafted hoax. Should that be the case, at least we can credit the pranksters for making the fake video a family affair.
Gotta love it.
So, a Facebook group devoted to Cheney Lake State Park. Maybe let's see if we got a few minutes. Let me see if the video's still on there. Unless you have to join and you can't see anything. Cheney. Lake State Park. I no see it. Oh, Cheney State Park. Let's try that one. A lot of fishing stuff. This is making me want to go fishing. I'll say that. Eagles, a lot of eagle photos.
Yeah.
There are a lot of water. I don't see no Bigfoot, and this is going back into January.
Yep.
Just a lot of eagle pictures. Well, maybe they took it down.
Maybe.
I don't know.
It's a big possibility.
Yep. All right, guys. That was a good show. I had fun with it. Had a good
That
laugh.
was fun.
I hope you guys had a good
Great
laugh too.
Yeah.
We don't have a topic for next week, so we'll figure something out. Maybe we'll put up a poll or something. We'll come up with a few topics, and maybe we should do a show on the triangles.
I like that. That's a pretty good idea, because all I know is Bermuda and then that one. The one I just talked about it. But we could talk about, obviously, more of what involves in those triangles. But yes.
CC.
I'm down with that. All right.
Cool.
Have a good night, everybody. Thank you guys
so much for the show.
Yes. Have a great night. Cassie, peace, love, happiness. Love it.
He's ready to get his swerve on.
We'll
see you guys.
My swerve on.
If you haven't yet, again, hop on over to patreon.com/Boogeyman Radio to join us on the After Dark show. And if you're not going to be there, we'll see you back here next week. Peace.
Take care.